The North American F-1 Fury represents a bold leap into the jet age at a time when the United States Navy was still learning how to move from propeller-driven aircraft into a new era of high speed and innovation. When the Second World War ended, the aviation world was already changing faster than ever before, and everyone knew that jet power was the future. The F-1 Fury came from this time of excitement and experimentation, and it was not just a machine built to fight but a machine built to learn. It carried lessons that would shape the future of naval aviation for decades and pave the way for more advanced fighters that would rule the skies in the years to come. The story of the F-1 Fury begins with North American Aviation, a company that had already built legends like the P-51 Mustang during the war. The Navy wanted to test the possibility of operating jet aircraft from aircraft carriers, which was not an easy task since jets required longer runways and generated much more power and heat than piston engines. The F-1 Fury was North America's answer to this challenge. It was designed as a straight-wing jet fighter with a single engine and a clean, streamlined fuselage that carried the elegant yet simple lines typical of early jet designs. The first prototype of the Fury took to the air on November 11, 1946, powered by an Allison J35 turbojet engine which could produce about 4,000 pounds of thrust. This power was enough to push the aircraft to a top speed of around 600 miles per hour, which was impressive at the time and made it one of the fastest naval aircraft in the world. The Fury had a range of about 1,200 miles and could climb quickly to its operational altitude, giving the Navy a taste of what jet-powered performance could really do. Even though the Fury looked like a smaller jet version of the P-51 Mustang, its flight characteristics were completely different. The instant throttle response of a piston engine was gone, replaced by the slower acceleration of an early jet turbine. Pilots had to learn to manage power differently to avoid stalls or flameouts, and they had to adapt to higher landing speeds and longer takeoff runs. This was new territory for the Navy, and the F-1 Fury became a classroom in the sky. The aircraft's armament consisted of 6 Browning 50 caliber machine guns mounted in the nose, providing solid firepower for air combat and ground attack missions. There was also potential to carry small bombs or rockets under its wings, but its main role was to test how a carrier-based jet fighter could perform and survive the tough conditions of carrier operations. It had tricycle landing gear, which was new for naval aircraft at that time and helped improve visibility during takeoff and landing, but the early landing gear was not as strong as it needed to be for constant carrier landings, and the jet's short range and limited endurance soon became apparent. Despite these limits, the Fury proved valuable as a stepping stone. It gave the Navy essential data about jet behavior on carriers. Pilots learned about the challenges of handling high landing speeds and about the need for stronger arresting gear and improved catapult systems. It also taught engineers about fuel management, since early jets burned fuel quickly and efficiency was poor compared to piston engines. All these lessons were priceless for the design of future aircraft. In flight, the F-1 Fury was stable and responsive. Pilots found it smooth and pleasant to fly, though not as agile as piston aircraft at lower speeds. The lack of wing sweep limited its performance at higher speeds, especially when approaching transonic flight, where air compressibility became a problem. This was one of the reasons why the Fury would later evolve into the swept-wing FJ2 and FJ3 variants, which would share much more with the famous F-86 Sabre. The later versions were faster, more capable, and better armed, and they reflected how much the Navy had learned from the first Fury. Operationally, the F-1 Fury did not serve for long. Only about 30 aircraft were built, and they entered service in 1947 with Navy Squadron VF-5A based at Naval Air Station North Island in California. The squadron used the Fury mainly for testing and evaluation rather than combat operations. It participated in carrier trials on the USS Boxer, where pilots practiced takeoffs and landings to understand how jets would behave on deck. The aircraft performed reasonably well, but the limited power of its early engine and its short range made it unsuitable for long-term operational service. By 1950, it was replaced by more advanced jets, and most of the remaining Furies were retired or used for training and experimental duties. Still, the influence of the F-1 Fury was enormous. It directly led to the FJ2 Fury, which shared many design elements with the F-86 Sabre, including a swept-wing design and better jet performance. The FJ3 and FJ4 versions continued this evolution, and they became capable naval fighters that could compete with the best of their time. The lineage of the Fury family can be seen as a bridge between the piston era and the modern jet age of the Navy. The design philosophy behind the F-1 Fury was simple but forward-thinking. North American engineers knew that early jet technology had limitations, but they built an aircraft that could teach valuable lessons while still being safe to operate. Its airframe was clean and strong, its controls were straightforward, and its systems were designed for simplicity and reliability. The cockpit was fairly basic with analog dials and manual controls, but it gave pilots a clear view and good situational awareness, which was important during carrier operations. One of the most significant aspects of the F-1 Fury was its role in the training of the first generation of naval jet pilots. Flying a jet was a completely different experience from flying a propeller-driven aircraft. Acceleration was smoother but slower at low speeds, and braking was more difficult because jets lacked the drag of propeller discs. Pilots also had to learn to manage energy differently during dogfights and landings. Carrier approaches required perfect precision because the margin for error was smaller than ever before. The Fury helped pilots develop these new skills, which would later become standard practice for naval aviators. Technologically, the F-1 Fury also marked a new chapter in maintenance and support. Jet engines required different care from piston engines, and the Navy had to adapt its maintenance crews and procedures. The experience gained with the Fury helped build the foundation for future aircraft maintenance systems that supported more advanced jets like the F-9F Panther, the FJ-3 Fury, and later the F-8 Crusader. In popular memory, the F-1 Fury is often overshadowed by the F-86 Sabre, its Air Force cousin that gained fame during the Korean War. But without the lessons learned from the Fury, the Sabre might not have been as successful. The two aircraft share the same design DNA, and many of the aerodynamic and engineering improvements tested on the Fury ended up on the Sabre. This makes the Fury an unsung hero in the story of American jet development. When looking at the Fury today, it stands as a symbol of transition, a piece of aviation history that represents courage, innovation, and progress. It was not built to win wars but to prepare for them, and in that sense it accomplished its mission perfectly. Its elegant lines, its simple yet effective design, and its contribution to future aircraft make it a worthy member of the early jet family. Although it never fired a shot in combat, the Fury's service paved the way for generations of naval fighters that would dominate the seas and skies for decades. Every takeoff, every landing, every test flight taught engineers something new about how to make jets safer, faster, and more reliable. It taught pilots how to respect the new power of jet engines and how to control it on the narrow deck of a moving carrier. It taught the Navy that the jet age required new tactics and new technology, and it gave them the confidence to move forward. The legacy of the F-1 Fury can still be felt today in the modern carrier fighters of the United States Navy. Aircraft like the F-18 Hornet and the F-35C Lightning II owe part of their existence to those early experiments in the late 1940s. The courage of the pilots who flew the Fury and the engineers who designed it laid the foundation for all that came after. In the world of aviation history, the F-1 Fury may not be as famous as the Sabre or the Phantom or the Raptor, but it deserves recognition as one of the first true naval jets that proved what was possible. It was a jet built at a time when the world was just beginning to understand how to use this new technology, and it served its role with honor and effectiveness. When one imagines the F-1 Fury on the deck of a carrier in the late 1940s, its engine screaming as it prepares for takeoff, it becomes clear that this was not just another plane. It was the start of something new. The Navy was stepping into the future one jet at a time, and the F-1 Fury was leading the way. It may have been replaced quickly, but it will always be remembered as the aircraft that helped the Navy break free from the past and embrace the jet-powered future. The F-1 Fury stands as a testament to human ingenuity and the never-ending desire to go faster, fly higher, and explore new frontiers. It was born in an age of transformation, and it carried with it the dreams of pilots who wanted to master the sky in a new way. Its contribution may have been quiet, but it was powerful and lasting, and it remains a proud chapter in the story of American aviation.